Hello friends, welcome to English Short End class. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start. On May 6, President Gotabaya issued a gazette banning the import of chemical fertilizers in what was widely seen as a rash embrace of organic farming promised in his poll manifesto. At a time when all sectors, including agriculture, were reeling under the persisting economic impact of the pandemic, the Rajapaksa administration's announcement, perhaps the most consequential change to agriculture policy in the region in recent decades, came with no consultation, forethought, or convincing transition plan apparent. In a curiously belated effort, months after changing policy, the Ministry of Agriculture on Thursday said it was setting up a task force to study and report on the adverse effects of the use of chemical fertilizers and chemical pesticides on the human body. President Gotabaya has defended his ambitious initiative locally and at international fora. We need a new agricultural revolution that is not against nature, he said, speaking on the sidelines of the United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow held in October-November, acknowledging there was some criticism and resistance to his government's organic-only policy, he told the summit. In addition to chemical fertilizer lobby groups, this resistance has come from farmers who have grown accustomed to overusing fertilizer as an easy means of increasing yields. He did not mention Sri Lankan scientists who have slammed the initiative, terming it ill-advised and a catastrophe in the making. The ban was a big jolt, Jayatilega said, seated in a community hall adjacent to a Buddhist temple in Ibagamuwa, about 13 kilometers from Kurunegala town. Paddy is our livelihood, our main source of income for generations, and that is under serious threat now. In the face of criticism, government spokespersons have sought to justify the move with more than one reason. They pitch it as a necessary step to prevent a chronic kidney condition loosely attributed by non-scientists to chemicals in the soil, and to save dollars spent on fertilizer import for the country that is in a dire forex and economic crisis. But the argument did not find many takers among farmers, who came under enormous pressure soon after the new policy took effect. They had no source of chemical fertilizer when sowing season 1 of 2 tied to Sri Lanka's monsoons began in September. As for organic fertilizers, farmers are caught in uncertainty over its availability, quality, and potential effect. It is all just chaotic, said Jayatilega, who heads a farmers' society in the district. EPDK Attugaleage even considered quitting farming. The pressure to buy organic fertilizer, the transport costs, and the uncertainty about the quality of organic fertilizer, all this made me think why I must farm hereafter. Is it worth growing paddy with all these risks? He asked. The district, with over 4 lakh farmers, is among the top paddy producers in the country. For paddy cultivators like Jayatilega and Attugaleage, whose farming lives began in the 1960s, coinciding with the Green Revolution that aimed to increase productivity, organic agriculture is aligned. The abundance and security they are used to are a consequence of using chemical fertilizer, one of the chief drivers of the Green Revolution, and the subsidy promoted especially by the earlier Rajapaksa administrations from 2005 to 2014 that made it easily accessible to them all this time. Some 1.8 million farmers across the island are engaged in paddy production, delivering an average yield of over 3 million tons a year. Data published by Sri Lanka's Rice Research and Development Institute showed. Like many other countries, Sri Lanka too witnessed a marked increase in productivity in the last 5 decades, achieving self-sufficiency from importing 60% of the country's rice requirement in the 1940s, when Sri Lanka's population was about 6 million, to producing more than what is consumed now, when the population is nearly 22 million, is a significant leap, remarked Butti Maramb, a senior professor at the Department of Crop Science at the Faculty of Agriculture, University of Peradeniya, located in the central Kandy district. Top crop in peril. The government's ban, while putting Sri Lanka's top staple crop in peril, also endangers the country's food security achieved through decades, experts like him fear. With this decision, the government has taken the entire country for a ride. The policy will affect the next crop, the farmers who grow them, and subsequently the whole society. A food crisis is imminent, Professor Maramb noted, reflecting a sentiment that several fellow scientists have aired from the time President Gotabaya imposed the ban. Critics of the move are not necessarily opposed to organic farming. As academics studying the science of food production, they were only voicing concern that a transition that ought to take place in phases over years was being rushed through without a plan. Now the implications of the abrupt shift are beginning to manifest. Farmers are dreading their next paddy harvest in January and February, with most fearing their yield would drop by 50%. Those growing vegetables and fruits are also already noticing worrisome changes, according to WAD Sylvester, a 65-year-old farmer. The quality of bananas has suffered. Earlier, one large bunch would be 25 kg to 30 kg, but now it's barely 15 kg. For coconuts grown commercially, we use chemical fertilizer once in 6 months. Now I see that coconuts have shrunk without the fertilizer, he said. The ban will also adversely impact Sri Lanka's $1.3 billion tea industry, a vital foreign exchange earner for the country, planters have warned. They anticipate a 40 to 50% slash in production, despite the government relaxing the chemical fertilizer ban for the sector in October after their repeated appeals. Even for other crops, the government partially revoked the ban last month. Agriculture Minister Mahendranath on November 24 said the private sector would be allowed to import agrochemicals, but the part reversal is too little too late, in farmers' view.